DJ Playboy.
What's good, y'all? It's your man DJ Playboy back with another edition of the Perfect Talk Podcast. And I do no episode, not one, without my dog, my partner, my man.
Girl scream like I'm
Keith. What it do, brethren?
Good day, everybody. It's cold days, no matter where you are in this country.
Yo, unprecedented cold winter storm, right? And they said cold weather in places that just never got a cold snap like that ever before.
Yes, it's crazy because it's happening all over the country, and people who like climate deniers are like, yeah, see, warming. That's the opposite of warming, y'all. It's the global cooling.
I think I was wondering why, like, you remember when we was younger, that everybody was calling it global warming, and then it started running with climate change.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that was why, like, people, whenever, because we started getting some rough winters, you know what I mean, too, and you see it's the effect of, like, the tornadoes and also the winter storms that you get also. Right. So if they slip from the global warming point, because the world is getting warmer, but, you know what I mean, you got people that make that dumb argument like you just alluded to. You know what I mean, so, but yeah, climate change is real, despite what they say, people, it is real, and thoughts and prayers to everybody around this country, because not everybody got the right heat. You know what I mean? To survive something like this. And on top of that, they're having electrical outages, rolling blackouts, just to deal with the demand.
Yeah, and, aren't they getting hit really bad in Texas?
Yeah, from what I hear, man. Heard a sad story about people just trying to heat their home up, too. All types of, like, unconventional ways. CDC even put a warning out that, you know what I mean, carbon monoxide warning. I think this one family was hospitalized because they were just burning a grill for 4 hours just to get heat.
Yeah.
Not realizing the effects that it would have on them. So, you know what I mean? And it's a sad, but some people believe, you know, that you could just leave your oven open and do things like that. And I mean, depending on what type of oven you have, I mean, it's not a good idea anyway, but it could be worse depending on the type of oven that you do have. So definitely be careful out there, and thoughts and prayers to everybody. Cause that cold hits you, but when you're not even used to it, it hits you different, bro.
Yeah, man, because you get irrational. It's like, yo, what is this? And your crib is not prepared for it. See, like in the Northeast, something happens to your heat. They're like people who's ready for it. Like, oh, I knew somebody's heat was gonna go out. Like they ready for it. Out there, that might not be the case. It may be like, yo, this is wild, yo. Like, got to do something now, and right now we don't got no other option.
Word up. Electric company come out like, damn, nigga, what you gonna do?
Yeah, word.
Niggas, we ain't used to this, man. So it's now even I mean, moving from New York City to upstate New York, that shit is different, bro. Like that shit, that wind hits you, people just disappearing for like 2 seasons. Yeah. Like you don't see people till summer come back around. But nah, definitely, man. Everybody hold their head out there. We expecting like a storm out here, so everybody hold your head out there. You know, drive safe. And how you doing though, bro? Man, what's up with you?
Everything's good.
In a minute.
You can't complain. Quarantining day number 300. Who knows? Whatever.
Oh man, people they say numbers are going down, which is good, you know what I mean? So people should stay diligent, stay holding up, you know what I mean? And hopefully we could get back to that day where we could be out here without masks. People out here getting vaccinated. This storm has slowed things down though, you know what I mean? So this cold snap that we've been having slowed things down with people not being able to, you know, get to their vaccination appointments. Those vaccinations have a short shelf life from what I understand. So some of them, you know what I mean, they're trying to rush to get them to people so they could salvage some of them. But it's crazy, right? I'm nervous about getting a vaccine, and I'm for it. I'm not like don't go against it, but I don't even, like I said, I think I'm eligible to get it now, and I'm still kind of like, you know, wait and see.
Yeah,
taking this wait and see approach. You know what I mean? But I am definitely 100% going to get it. You know what I mean? Just a matter of when it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? But it sucks for the people out there that are like high risk. You know what I mean? And they need to get it right now. You know what I mean? They can't get to it.
Yeah, the vaccine. Yeah, I mean, just that diligence that we got to continue with, like with the supply chain stuff and vaccines getting into arms, and people producing enough vaccines by the summer, and the president saying whatever he's saying. Yeah, it's nuts. Yesterday, I went to this mall called the American Dream Mall. This is right across from MetLife Stadium where the Giants and Jets play. And like inside of it's a mall, but it also got like a theme park and mini golf and all this type of stuff. So they got a water park, right? And like you could, if you stand in a certain part of the mall, you could see through the glass into like the water park, but you got to pay admission to actually get into the water. That joint looked like, I don't know how to explain it, man. It looked like Like, you ever been somewhere in like your backyard in the streets, and then there's just like a brown puddle on the sidewalk, and your parents got to yell at you to be like, "Don't step in that. You don't know what's in there." That's what this all the water swishing back and forth, and nobody wearing masks because it's water. I was like, oh.
Yeah. It's just a cesspool.
Yeah, it looked like but I can't judge too much. I wanted to get in there. I was like, I wonder what my chances are on there because that looked fun as shit.
So they got chlorine, right?
Yeah, that's what I'll be saying. Yeah, they got chlorine, right? They probably spraying that shit in the air.
Nah, it's yeah, I want to get back to regular life too, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like movies and restaurants is a big thing. Like, I don't know, I'm scared of shit to sit in a restaurant. I don't want to take my mask off. Like, there's a cafeteria where I work. Mm-hmm. And people, you know, they got a social distance everything, but I'm like, I don't know. I go eat in my car for real. Yeah. Like, I'm just like, nah. Like, I don't want to, because you sit in a room and then you watching people who not having the proper habits anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean? So then they're like, man, I'm just looking at this, making eye contact with this. It's like, nah, I can't do it. I'm trying to sneak a French fry underneath a mask. Like, nah,
sliding it in, like.
From the sides and shit. Like, nah, it's not. It's yo. Have you tried double masking? Like, I had to take an Uber ride one time, and I was like, yeah, fuck it. I heard Dr. Fauci say it can't hurt, so I threw on the double mask, and I was like, this ain't bad. I mean, it ain't like you can breathe less. You know what I mean? Yeah. You just feel. I think it's a mental thing though.
With the double masking.
Yeah. Well, for me at least, it gave me peace of mind to ride the Uber.
Yeah, I mean, they say it's supposed to work better, like less germs, supposed to get through both of the masks. And I don't know, I kind of believe that. I don't know how much it helps, but if I were to make my best guess, like it must be harder for germs to pass through two masks than it is one. So I don't know.
Yeah, like anything. Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. It's like funny how we went from no mask to one mask to like, hey, shit, rock 3, nigga, shit.
Yeah, like, the same person saying it. So. I mean, they're in a tough position because they don't know what they learning more about the disease as they go along. So they start off with nobody buying masks. Don't be buying that shit up. Then like the next week, everybody better get a mask. And then for the time people get a mask, it's difficult.
It is. It's hard, man. It's hard to just take a stance and stay there. You know what I mean? And we seen that this past week. Your man Mitch McConnell. He couldn't just take a stance and stay there, you know what I'm saying? And it all had to do with your man Trump getting acquitted. Trump's still making news, man. It's crazy. But Trump's got acquitted on his impeachment trial, man, which we kind of seen the writing on the wall with that, right? There wasn't no secret that was going to happen. We were heading that direction. But it's still like, I'm at a loss for words. It's incredible that people could have sat through the events of what was that, the January 6th, and still not impeach him, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Still not find him responsible for causing the Capitol riots. But I mean, I kind of understand legally, right? Like if it was a criminal trial, you'd be like, well, we can't lock Trump up for this, you know what I mean? I don't necessarily think that Trump made people do something that they didn't come that day to do already, if that makes sense. Right. Like, I think they were just kind of waiting for the dog whistle, just kind of waiting for all right, let's go. And he gave him that, you know what I mean? Whether he knew about it or not, which I do believe he did know about it. I feel like he did it in such a way that you can't be like, all right, well, he definitely caused this, you know what I mean? In a criminal way. But I think he 100% knew exactly what those people came there to do and what words he had to say that people couldn't take the video and just be like, look, he just did it. You know what I mean? They had to like, you know what that means, or you know what the term fight means, you know what I mean? Yeah. And stuff like that. And he was able to leave it with just enough, but to also give them the signal that they needed. And Republicans were shook. They were shook to convict, man. It was, what did they need? 67 votes?
Yeah, so it would be the 50 Democrat votes and I think like 16, 17 Republican votes on top of that.
And and they got 7 from the Republicans, right?
More. Okay, 10 short, and yeah, I mean I think from the beginning people knew that conviction was very unlikely. That's why they didn't call no witnesses and go. They went hard, but not crazy hard. The thing just lasted like a week.
Yeah, it was pretty short.
I think the last one was like a couple weeks, right, or something like that. It sure did feel long, the first one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the coverage of it was different. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but I was sat there and I watched the vote, and it was like, damn, yo, y'all. What other word do you have for that? Like cowardly, It's just y'all shook a Trump. It reminds me of Paid in Full when what's his name gets shot. A gets shot. And the dude comes by on the block. He like, Calvin got y'all niggas shook. It's like Trump got y'all niggas shook, man.
Word. That's kind of what it is. It is, man. He does, because he does have diminishing power. Like, he's diminished, but he's still strong enough to fuck everybody's shit up.
Yeah. And have them scared. Just that fear, you know what I mean? And that's like it reminds me of the schoolyard. That's like true, like, schoolyard bully. Like, damn, I hope he gets suspended.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I hope he get expelled, but you can't. If it came down to them expelling him, they couldn't vote to do it. And Mitch McConnell came out and made a whole statement talking about Trump is morally responsible, morally and practically responsible for what happened that day. I'll tell you the quote right here. He said, "There's no question, none, that President Trump is practically and morally responsible for provoking the events of that day. Mob was assaulting the Capitol in his name. These criminals were carrying his banners, hanging his flags, and screaming their loyalty to him." Makes that speech after voting to acquit, though. You know what I mean? So it's like, what's the point, bro? Yeah. Like, what are you trying to what are you trying to do here? You know what I'm saying? Like, your actions don't necessarily match up. And I mean, along with me clowning him, your man Trump decided he gonna fire back. he wasn't feeling Mitch dropping, you know what I mean, the freestyle on Funk Master Flex. he wasn't feeling the little lines about him. He was like, all right, well, I'm gonna take it back.
Mitch trying to finish him off, because if Trump don't got Twitter was a powerful weapon for him. The whole the riot thing, a lot of people ain't feeling him the way they used to, feeling Trump the way they used to. So Mitch is like, all right, this is my chance, man. If I don't do it now, I ain't never gonna do it. And then if you have Trump just lingering around, right now, Mitch McConnell is supposed to be the most powerful Republican in Washington. But that's up for question if Trump is just kind of lingering around. So exactly. When you look at Nikki Haley saying, yeah, Trump was a buster for what he did. People smell the blood in the water. People may be mad about it now, but you get it's going to get old trying to defend Trump when he ain't around. It's just not going to make sense no more. That act is going to get tired. So I think they know that, especially in the next 4 years until the next election. Or 3 years. And Trump, and then they got the midterms, right? And then 2 years, right? Like, right. So, in which Trump threatens, like, he won't support people that didn't support him. Which who knows who knows how big his promotion will be, you know what I'm saying? How big his endorsement would be in 2 years, you know what I mean? People might not give a fuck. But apparently people are scared, and he's trying to still, scare people. Came out, dropped a statement about Mitch. Said Mitch is a dour, sullen, and unsmiling political hack. And if Republican senators are going to stay with him, they will not win again. He will never do what needs to be done or what is right for our country. Where necessary and appropriate, I will back primary rivals who expose making America great again and our policy of America first. We want brilliant, strong, thoughtful, and compassionate leadership. It is like, it's on that, you know what I mean? You gonna go with me or go with Mitch type flow, you know what I mean? Even insulted his family, because if I'm not mistaken, Mitch McConnell's married to an Asian woman. And stated that he has no credibility on China because of his family's substantial Chinese business holdings. Which was like, come on, Trump. He had to slide that in there, you know what I mean? Yeah. But it's like, because his wife, Mitch McConnell's wife used to work for Trump.
Oh, okay. So he tried to drop.
And then she resigned.
Drop the subliminal.
Yeah, like I guess so. I don't know. And then she quit in the last few days of pretty much after the riot. Like, damn, I can't. Yeah, no more.
I've seen enough.
Now I've seen enough. Yeah, man, this whole politics shit is crazy with Trump. I'll be honest, man. It's a little bit interesting. It keeps it a little bit entertaining. I haven't been watching the news as much anymore, which is kind of a good thing. I check in for updates like once a day just to see what's going on. It's slow.
Yeah, which is good. Which is what it should be. It shouldn't be reality TV, like what's happening this week. You know what I mean? How do you think Joe Biden is doing in his first couple of weeks? Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
You know what the sweet thing about it is? I have no idea, man. This is like what a normal presidency is about. Like before 9/11, you'd be like, yo, how is George W. Bush doing? I don't know, nigga. What? Who's George Bush's president again? What? This is
nigga seen Fahrenheit 9/11. It was like George Bush was doing this.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. I mean, so what I understand, he had a town hall the other night on CNN and is talking about the vaccine stuff, and I don't know how he's doing until I see the milestones that he's promising. Until he hits those or doesn't hit them, I just don't know. You know what I'm saying? Is it a month or a little bit less than a month at this point? It'll be a month and change by the time this is released, and I just don't know. We'll see. Everything's in motion now. Probably by this summer, you'll know. Like, yo, man, like whatever millions of people were supposed to get the shots in their arms that you said they was gonna get, that ain't happen. Or a bunch of people got it, but when you look at the numbers of black people who got it, it's very small. Like shit like that. I'm gonna be looking out for that.
Yeah. And like you said, it's. I guess things are being done behind the scenes, which could be a good thing or a bad thing, but hopefully something's getting done. You know what I mean? And it's not just I don't need the everyday tweets and the yelling every day or making statements. Just do something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Make it happen because your promises were really big that you made. I know we're getting tight on time, Keith, so we gotta switch it up to Have You Heard Rapid Fire Edition, man. There's a lot of stuff that happened in the news the past couple of weeks, so I'm bringing it to the table. See, my man Keith has heard. First things up, man. Your man Tom Brady won another ring, dog.
Nah, I didn't hear about that one.
That's how your man Tom pull that off.
Yeah,
like how old is Tom Brady, dog? This is crazy.
43 or something like that. Yeah, that's nuts, man. That dude is old, but like when you look at him play, he's not. If you compare him to old time, well, he compares pretty well to old time, but maybe his passes don't have quite the zip or whatever. But just by the eye test, it's not even just about people say about old quarterbacks like it's or old athletes in general. They're smart and they know the game really well, and that's true. But also when you look at him play, it's kind of like LeBron. When you look at them play, it looks like a viable player. It's not just about doing slick moves because they're old and like, yeah, I know this little trick or whatever. It's like Peyton Manning. Like Peyton Manning, his last couple seasons when he won the Super Bowl and everything, he got by. He just got by on little tricks because he could not throw the ball because he was flabby and sick. He's old.
Yeah.
But Tom Brady looks terrific. Drew Brees looks all right. But compared to Tom Brady, the dude looks mad geriatric.
Tom Brady making Drew Brees ready for retirement. He look like thinking about his TV gig.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I think that's a really. I like to just give respect where respect is due to greatness. You know what I mean. Like I would have loved to see Patrick Mahomes win it, go back to back. Same thing with Russell Wilson, right? Tom Brady shut them both down for going back to back. But as much as I want to see that, it's like, damn, you can't bet against Tom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let's not forget about the real MVP. Is that defense in Tampa Bay made Patrick Mahomes? They didn't even make him look like a bum. They just made him look normal. Like he just looked like that's Patrick.
What I seen too, and shout out Todd Bowles from that defense, former Jet coach. What I seen was they was putting that pressure on Pat. Definitely had him running, but when he was able to release the ball, it hit the receiver's hands.
Which is crazy. Well, that's the human part. Like he looked like just a very good human.
Yeah,
like it hit a dude in his helmet, hit a dude in his chest, it hit another dude right there in his belly. Like it was that. That is insane. He's diving and shit. He running on tripped. One leg, 1 foot, like damn Toby from Roots. It was insane. And the dude, he's flinging it down the field. His body was horizontal. And he made the throw, not with planted feet. Like when you look at games and you got the analysts and like, yeah, man, this dude's feet wasn't planted perfectly. That's why he didn't get that pass off and whatever. That dude had no feet on the ground, body horizontal, and somehow threw a pass 40 yards down the field and the shit hit the dude in the face mask. That's wild, yo.
That is incredible aim, man. Shout out to Patrick Mahomes. He gonna get there, but this is still Tom's moment. You know what I mean? Yeah. You can't take it away from Tom, man. So shout out to him, man. Greatness got to be recognized, man. Keith, have you heard your boy Justin Timberlake felt the need to apologize to Britney Spears and Janet Jackson.
Again? For Janet Jackson?
Did he ever apologize before in the past? I don't even know if he ever brought it up to mention.
I don't know. Yeah. You're right. I don't know. Well, why did he do it? No, I didn't hear that.
Well, it was like a perfect storm of anti-Justin events with the Super Bowl happening, and people online virally calling it Janet Jackson Day. You know what I mean? Just out of respect for, Janet Jackson Appreciation Day, because of what happened at the Super Bowl many years ago. And also, Britney Spears dropped a documentary.
Well, she didn't drop it. The New York Times dropped it.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, Framing Britney Spears, which was produced by the New York Times and was released on FX and Hulu, focused on, Britney Spears, obviously, everything that happened in her career, from dating Justin Timberlake to her dad taking over her money and things of that sort. But it didn't make Justin look great because it pointed out how, he made her look like a cheater, you know what I mean? He had a whole song that, whether it wasn't about her or not, he didn't make people think it wasn't about her, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He played into the whole, and it was a good song. I think what goes around comes around, right? I think that shit Timberland on and everything.
They thought that was supposed to be for Brittany. Was it? I mean,
yeah. I think it was. Like, the video, it had a girl that looked like Brittany. He said Brittany cheated on him. He put that out there in the press, and that's what happens in the song. What goes around comes around. Yeah. Now, you know what I mean? Like, then, you know what I mean? Like, if it wasn't, it was a hell of a coincidence.
Yeah.
But apparently it was, because definitely Justin felt the need to come out. In some of his apology, he says he wanted to apologize to both of them for benefiting from a system that condones misogyny and racism. The industry is flawed. It sets men, especially white men, up for success. As a man in a privileged position, I have to be vocal about this. Because of my ignorance, I didn't recognize it for all it was as it was happening in my own life. But I do not want to benefit from others being pulled down again. I specifically want to apologize to Britney Spears and Janet Jackson, both individually, because I care for and respect these women, and I know I have failed. Like, a little too late, though, man. You know what I mean? Like, if I feel like you came out with this because, like, once again, you had a bad weekend on social media. You know what I mean? I don't knock nobody. I mean, shout out to him for apologizing. He didn't have to do that, obviously. Justin Timberlake's in a position where whether he did that or not, his career wasn't going to suffer.
Yeah, so I'd say one quick thing is that Scarlett Johansson in the Everything Goes Around video?
Is it? It might be. I don't remember, but it might be.
Yeah,
Scarlett Joe.
And then the next thing is Justin Timberlake, even though he's not at his prime right now, like he just released a movie, like he's big enough to get canceled. So like, even though he laid low, because sometimes laying low is not the remedy, but it kind of reduces your chances of being canceled. But he can't lay low. He has like I don't want to call it the hottest, but it's the feature movie on Apple TV right now. So
what movie is that?
Palmer. It's on Apple TV.
Oh yeah, no.
Apple
What's it
TV
about?
Plus.
I don't even. Yeah.
I don't know. That's the thing. That's why I said it wasn't hot, nigga. I said it wasn't. I said that's why I had to change it. I was like, it's not hot, but it's the feature movie. Like when you turn on, if you click Apple TV on your phone, like you'll say, "Oh, Justin Timberlake and Palmer, he ain't dancing." Like that's what you see when you turn it on.
Shit. I wasn't up on that.
Yeah. So but, the point is that, you know, it's a cover your ass. In my opinion, it's a cover your ass move. You know what I'm saying? Like if you wanted to apologize, exactly. This is like 20 years later or whatever, or 15 years, however long years later, over a decade later, he does it and he feels the heat. So it's kind of like, you know.
It felt like in the moment too, like with the Janet Jackson thing, especially maybe with the Brittany thing, he was, you know, just butthurt over getting cheated on or whatever, or broken up with, whatever happened, right? And you can see, you know, young men make silly mistakes. But in the Janet thing, it seemed like your career was in such a place that if you would have came out and been like, you know, I want to apologize to Janet for this happening, I don't think he would have suffered as bad. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I think he obviously pulls it off, right? So whatever involvement you thought Janet Jackson had of it being on purpose, he had the same involvement. You know what I'm saying? And then it being a malfunction, I feel like he could have just came out and been like, yo, that was a mistake. I would never in my life do anything like that. I respect women. You know what I mean? This is all pre-Me Too. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like it would have been voluntary. It wouldn't have been like, oh, let me do this before the hashtags come out. You know what I mean? He could have saved himself. He decided not to, which is why he might be feeling remorse right now. You know what I mean? Maybe for years he felt like this. So
and he came out of it. Mm-hmm. He came out of it pretty good. If Justin Timberlake,
scot free,
right?
Scot free.
Well, Beyonce scot free. Like his career went pretty damn well after that. So, I don't know. Like honestly, I think nobody would care if Justin Timberlake if he just if he was one of the other NSYNC members, pretty much. People will be like, who? Just what? Like, so remember the dude who pulled the joint off of Janet Jackson? Oh, that dude, where he at?
Damn, Lance Bass.
Yeah, man. Because right now, Justin Timberlake was on Dancing with the Stars. I don't know, you know. They might care then, but like if he was in a position where he had to go on Dancing with the Stars, people would be like, oh yeah, that's right, Justin Timberlake. Then you see people saying, oh, that dude needs to say sorry to people.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. There was Scarlett Johansson, but that wasn't that video. It was just dope little cameo to ever have in your video.
Yeah.
Keith, have you heard Meek Mill and Tekashi ran into each other, man? And it did not end nicely. I guess considering how it could have went, it actually, you know what I mean, I'll take that back. It actually ended very nicely. Because no violence, no nothing. And basically, Meek Mill says he was leaving a club in Miami, and as he was getting into his car, Tekashi and his entourage hopped out, which is weird. And they both, which is weird, this just shows you that we live in the 2021, they both have cell phone video of the interaction. Meaning they both pulled their phones out and hit record. And I would not go out of my way to go watch this video, but if it's basically just Tekashi and Meek Mill yelling at each other from behind their security guards about, yo, you pussy, you da-da-da, you this, you that, you that. But then they're videotaping it and they both post it from their own perspectives. Tekashi is going hard saying that Meek Mill's with a cop, which is one of the most ironic statements I think that we could be having. And like, my man just got out for snitching on his crew. And is accusing Meek Mill of being soft for rolling with a cop. But either way, right, the backlash that Meek Mill has caught from this is that people feel like Meek Mill should have done something. Because Meek Mill has been calling out Tekashi on social media for the past few months. Being that Tekashi approached him, a lot of people are like, well, you know me, he ran up on you, you know what I mean, you ain't do nothing, da 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 da. And it's just like, bro, hip hop has to get out of this ignorant place, bro. For real, like it's we have come way too far as a people to just be stuck where you think that you was just yelling free Meek. How can we turn around and say that Meek should have done something to a man who just snitched on his crew?
You're right. Prolific, man. One of the most prolific snitches in the game, man. This dude Tekashi, that dude's a legend. He needs one of them pictures with the 6 rings like Jordan got when Jordan's wrestling like Snitch magazine. Like he needs one of them shits because that dude is different, man. Speak about snitching. Now, we'll get to it later. I was about to talk about Judas and the Black Messiah.
Oh yeah. Definitely say that for later, man. But I think also what in a ridiculous place we live in where it's like Meek Mill. I don't know, like he's actually being ridiculed for not doing nothing, and it's like, yo, come on, man. Like if he would have done something too, like I feel like the same people ridiculing him would have ridiculed him for that. But like, yo, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like you just gonna go back to jail over what? And it's just like, come on, you can't win. You can't win nowadays, bro. It's like it's a lose-lose situation.
Well, Meek is old enough to peep game, man. You see, Tekashi has a following. Tekashi has to put on a performance for his people. Tekashi doesn't mean the stuff that he's really saying.
He can't. Yeah. He couldn't. Have you seen the Hulu documentary? I know you told me you heard the podcast, but I think there's a documentary.
I didn't see the Hulu documentary, but I would imagine they're hitting the similar points. Like,
yeah, you know what I was actually most surprised about? I didn't know Tekashi could just like roam the streets freely. Like, for some reason, I thought he was still on house arrest. But I mean, not that I kept up with him. So maybe the last time I heard anything about him, that was the case. So I was surprised when I heard about this. I'm like, he just roaming the streets?
Yeah, then his cooperation he was able to do stuff like they shortened the sentence to something like 10 years. I can't remember the number. But then like the 10-year sentence, let's say it's 10 years. It doesn't mean that he can't be out on the streets. I don't know, 10 years just means like he's just kind of under the thumb, like under the thumb of the law for that time. Instead of versus like the whatever 50 years he was facing before.
But he's not out scot free. He's still probably, you know what I mean, on papers of some sort.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I got you. That's another episode of The Books, man. Before we get to that, man, where can people find you out on social media, bro?
Instagram, me and my _35.
Awesome. You can find your boy DJ Playboy on Instagram at Plickapeezy, PLICCAPEEZY. Also, check out Perfect Talk Podcast on Instagram at Perfect Talk Radio. We also have a website, www.perfecttalkpodcast.com. Every episode of the Perfect Talk Podcast, my radio show, The Night Shift, also my other radio show that I do with my brother DJ Show called Money Talks Radio. Check that out. Please check out the Perfect Talk Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and wherever you listen to it at, please leave a review and a rating, because you know what I mean, that lets them know that you love what you hear. Let us know what we could do better. Let us know what you like about it, and we're going to keep bringing that heat for y'all. Keith, without any further ado, what are you watching on television nowadays, brother?
Got to do your black homework. See that Judas and the Black Messiah. That's it.
Ooh, Black History Month. Yeah. give us a quick. You don't got to tell us anything about the movie. You know what I mean? Don't ruin nothing. But the Keith rating. You know what I mean? What is a quick synopsis of it?
So it looks into the FBI investigation into and the assassination of Fred Hampton.
Okay.
Yeah, from the Chicago Black Panthers, and it's just a good movie. It's a good movie. Like, me personally, I made it a point not to like, because a lot of people don't know about the Black Panther Party. They just kind of know about the popular quote unquote cool stuff, Huey Newton, all that type of stuff, the Second Amendment stuff, all that, but they don't know about the programs and like some of the personalities and how they were killed or how they were neutralized and all that type of stuff. So I think it's cool. And I didn't look it up. I just looked at the movie like a movie, then looked it up after the fact. So that made for a cool experience for me. So I definitely recommend the movie on HBO Max.
Definitely go check that out. That stars Daniel Kaluuya.
Damn, nigga.
Kaluuya.
Jesus Christ.
I got close. That was close. That was close.
Like the whitest teacher ever, man. Just on a roll call. It is
spelled Kaluuya.
Daniel Kaluuya.
That was pretty close.
Yeah. The starring that dude, he's powerful, man. That dude. And, you know, as big as he is now, like, he's just getting started. So I can only imagine what he's going to do in years to come.
Definitely, man. Everything I see that he does is dope. The accent, the way that he talks in an English accent, he's able to just, you know what I mean, take on these roles is incredible as well.
Yeah. It's not just about getting the American accent. It's about getting a particular American accent. Like, he does the Chicago thing, and then the dude from Snowfall, he's doing like the Cali thing, and like those are very specific accents. Like, for instance, when you see Idris doing the Baltimore thing, like, he doesn't strike them. A lot of those actors didn't strike the specific Baltimore DMV type shit, but he did good. But like, this is another level to strike to get the Chicago or the LA. Like, this is a different level.
Like, Stringer Bell could have been from New York.
Exactly. I think like he just had a bunch of New York friends and saw a bunch of New York rappers on TV and just got that joint. Like, yeah, man, it's like a 40-degree day. Like that
joint. But yo, man, that's another episode in the books, brother, man. Say goodbye to the people.
Peace.
Peace.